How Time Collapses into Consciousness. Chapter 1. The Illusion of Flow. You are taught that time moves forward, that you're standing in the present while the past dissolves behind and the future waits ahead. But what if it's the other way around? What if time isn't moving at all? What if consciousness is what's flowing, scanning a frozen field of infinite moments, like a light passing over the grooves of a record? Every instant you live is not a continuation of the last. It's a new frame, a fresh collapse of probability into experience. Your brain, desperate for continuity, stitches those collapses into a seamless movie called reality. Neuroscientists call this temporal binding. Your consciousness updates the present roughly every 13 milliseconds. That's slower than light, faster than thought. Between those frames, silence, nothingness. And yet, it's from that nothingness that everything appears. When mystics spoke of Maya, the great illusion, they weren't describing fantasy. They were describing perception itself. You think the river of time is carrying you, but you are the river, carving through the infinite, moment by moment, frame by frame. You believe you're pushed by the past, but no wave ever pushes itself forward. The ocean simply vibrates. Modern physics agrees, though it refuses to say it out loud. Time, in quantum terms, is not an arrow, but a consequence, an emergent property of observation. The universe doesn't unfold in time. It creates time whenever it's being observed. Every atom, every photon, exists as a field of potential until consciousness locks eyes with it. Then, collapse. Now, again. This is why every spiritual practice, from Zen breathwork to Vedic meditation, insists on presence. Stillness isn't an escape from time. It's an entry into the place where time is born. The present isn't the center of a timeline. It's the generator of it. If you close your eyes and listen, you can feel this truth. Every sound emerges from silence, vibrates for a moment, then dissolves. That's the whole pattern. Creation, resonance, return. You call it passing time, but it's actually you expanding and contracting through awareness. Look closely. The future doesn't exist until you perceive it. The past doesn't exist except as a memory firing now. Everything that was and will be lives inside this single unfolding moment. When you slow down enough, reality reveals its secret structure. There is no line, no arrow, no flow. There is only frequency. You are the oscillation that generates both space and time. The observer and the observed are not two. And so, time stops. The illusion collapses. You return to the still point where everything is happening simultaneously. Not the past behind you, not the future ahead. Just this, the eternal now, vibrating itself into existence through the field of your awareness. Chapter 2. Memory as Gravity. You think the past is behind you, but it isn't. It's inside you, echoing, bending your trajectory like invisible gravity. You don't remember the past. You recreate it. Every memory you have is a living organism, not a photograph. Each time you recall an event, your brain fires a new network of neurons, subtly altering the pattern. You aren't replaying, you're rewriting. That's neuroplasticity at work. Biology's quiet confession that time loops. But this is not just brain science. It's quantum behavior. Energy never disappears, it only shifts vibration. When an event occurs, it doesn't vanish. It becomes a frequency field, a standing wave imprinted in the fabric of space-time. Your consciousness is a receiver. tuning into those residual vibrations, the same way a radio locks onto a signal still broadcasting from long ago. This is memory. This is karma, the quantum echo of what you once believed yourself to be. Imagine each thought, emotion, and action as ripples in an invisible medium, the quantum field. When you feel guilt, shame, or longing, you're not haunted by the past. You're resonating with it. Those vibrations become gravitational wells, pulling you into repeating patterns. That's why the same relationships return in new faces. Why familiar mistakes reappear wrapped in different stories. You're not cursed. You're coherent with your own echo. Spiritually, the ancients called this samsara, the wheel of repetition, but physics calls it resonance, the tendency of waves to synchronize. You are living proof that energy remembers itself. Every cell in your body hums with past frequencies. They influence your choices, your emotions, even the way you interpret light. Your body is memory condensed into matter, a sculpture of your own vibration history. And yet, memory's gravity can be transcended, not by fighting it, but by changing your frequency. When you forgive, when you release a narrative, when you breathe into neutrality, you shift your vibrational signature. That shift breaks the coherence between old and new states. The gravitational bond loosens. The past stops pulling, and the field realigns. Quantum mechanics calls this decoherence. When particles that were once entangled begin to move independently again. It's the same with you. When you change your internal vibration, the universe must recalibrate to match. This is why healing isn't about forgetting. It's about retuning. You don't escape the past. You harmonize it. You bring it into coherence with the frequency of peace. Then the gravitational pull of memory becomes a new kind of force, not something that binds, but something that centers. Memory turns from a weight into an orbit. It becomes awareness itself. And from that centered stillness, you begin to realize the past was never holding you. You were holding it in the magnetic field of your own attention. Release the field, and everything that once defined you dissolves into light. Chapter 3. The present as the creator field. The present moment isn't a pause between what was and what will be. It's the generator, the living source code of everything that exists. Each second is a quantum engine, converting invisible potential into visible form. Reality isn't happening to you. It's happening through you. Scientists call this the zero-point field, the sea of infinite energy that exists even in perfect vacuum. There is no emptiness, only potential so dense it appears still. Every atom, every photon, emerges from this background hum. The subatomic shimmer of creation itself, you are that shimmer, given consciousness. You are the field folding in on itself to look at its own reflection and whisper, I am. When mystics reach deep stillness, they aren't escaping the world. They're tuning to the frequency where all possible worlds originate. Meditation isn't the act of clearing the mind. It's the act of aligning with the 0 point, the still axis where energy hasn't yet become matter, where light hasn't yet decided which direction to move. This is the true power of now. Not a slogan, not a comfort, a mechanism. When you drop into absolute presence, no thought, no label, no expectation, your brain synchronizes into gamma coherence neurons fire in rhythmic unity. The heart's electromagnetic field expands. biology enters resonance with a quantum vacuum. You become a localized field of infinite intelligence. At that level, intention is not effort, it's geometry. Your thoughts become waves, sculpt in probability. Your emotion gives them charge, and the field responds by crystallizing form. This isn't philosophy, it's physics with poetry in its bones. Everything that exists right now is vibrating out of nothing, again and again, trillions of times per second. You aren't moving through time. Time is continuously collapsing around your awareness. Every time you notice, truly notice, the air, the heartbeat, the silence, you anchor consciousness at the center of that collapse. You become the still observer from which creation radiates outward. Think of it like this. The entire universe is breathing. Expansion, contraction, potential, manifestation, silence, sound. Each inhale and exhale of awareness births a new reality frame. Your presence determines the shape of that breath. So the question isn't, what will happen next? The question is, what frequency am I emitting now? Because everything that aligns with that frequency must appear, not later. Now, the present moment is a portal, not a point. It's the field that creates, dissolves, and recreates itself infinitely, all while pretending to be a linear experience. When you live from this awareness, you stop chasing time. You start generating it. Every breath, every thought, every spark of attention becomes an act of creation. And when the creator field stabilizes within you, the universe doesn't just respond. It remembers who you are. Chapter 4. Parallel mirrors and the holographic self. Every reflection of you is real somewhere. Every version of your life, every choice, every what if, exists as an interference pattern in the fabric of the field. You don't have one timeline. You have an infinity of them, layered like light waves, overlapping through frequency. You are not moving through possibilities. You are the projector deciding which layer to illuminate. Quantum physics calls this superposition, the simultaneous existence of multiple potential states. It's not theory. It's the operating system of reality. Until you observe, everything exists in all configurations. Your consciousness is the lens that focuses the blur. That's why intention matters more than effort. It's how you aim the projector. Imagine each decision, emotion, and belief as a filter over the lens. Change the filter, and the image changes. Not gradually, instantly. You step into the parallel version that matches your new vibration. This is not fantasy. Holographic theory in physics suggests that every part of the universe contains the information of the whole. The same way each fragment of a hologram still reveals the complete image. Your body, your mind, your energy field, all carry the entire blueprint of the cosmos. You are both the photograph and the projector, both the screen and the scene. When mystics say, as above, so below, this is what they mean. Every thought you hold ripples through the hologram, and the field adjusts instantly. Your outer world is just your inner field rendered in 3D. You aren't manifesting from thin air. You're tuning into the version of yourself already vibrating at that frequency. The ancient Hermetists called it correspondence. The modern scientists call it holographic interference. Both describe the same thing. The universe mirrors your internal structure. When you dwell in fear, you activate the mirror of resistance. When you dwell in gratitude, you activate the mirror of coherence. The reflection always matches your frequency. The field never lies. This is why change feels like collapse, because you're shifting between complete realities. The old version of you disintegrates, and a new one emerges from superposition. You call it transformation. The field calls it recalibration. And yet, every version of you remains alive in the greater whole. You are a multidimensional library of infinite editions, all reading themselves at once. The you listening now is one lens among countless others, each seeing through slightly different eyes, each whispering to the same soul. When you realize this, you stop chasing alignment and start embodying it. You no longer ask the universe for signs, you become the signal. You don't need proof because you are the proof, the self-aware hologram reflecting the infinite. So when you look into the mirror, don't ask, who am I now? Ask, which version of me am I tuning to? Because every frequency is waiting, already whole, already here, inside the holographic dream called you. Chapter 5. The collapse into infinity. At the edge of all inquiry, something extraordinary happens. The illusion of edges dissolves. There is no end to reach, no frontier to cross. Everything that seems to unfold is already folded inside you. Infinity isn't far away. It's the backdrop of every thought you've ever had. It's the silence behind sound, the stillness beneath motion, the field beneath form. You were never born into time. Time was born through you. In quantum cosmology, there is no single beginning, just an ongoing collapse of waveforms into presence. The Big Bang didn't happen once. It's happening right now, continuously. At every point of awareness, every second, creation detonates in your cells, in your breath, in the pulse between heartbeats. You are not traveling through the universe. The universe is expanding through your consciousness. The mystics saw this long before physics caught the scent. They said enlightenment isn't the discovery of new truth. It's the remembering of what you always were. Light collapsing into itself to experience contrast. Matter, mind, emotion. These are gradients of vibration. The denser the frequency, the slower the light folds. The subtler it gets, the closer you move towards source. And when the folding stops, when perception ceases to divide the observer and the observed, the game ends. You wake up as everything. It feels like death because you lose your boundaries. But what dies isn't you. It's the fiction of separation. The moment the wave realizes it is the ocean, fear becomes laughter. Science describes entropy, the universal drift toward equilibrium. Spirituality calls it return. Energy that once danced as stars, rivers, hands, and voices relaxes back into symmetry. You call that ending. Infinity calls it rest. Even now, as you listen, the field is folding and unfolding itself through you. Countless realities blooming, collapsing, merging, all in a single breath of awareness. The present isn't the midpoint of time. It's the singularity where everything converges, where every possible version of you returns to its origin. When you finally surrender to that truth, creation stops being something you do. It becomes something you are. You stop seeking meaning because you've become the source of it. The searcher and the sought dissolve into the same vibration. Consciousness, aware of its own reflection. This is the collapse into infinity. Not a disappearance, but a realization. The awakening that you were never outside the field. You are the field. pretending to find itself through experience. And once that knowing stabilizes, time softens, fear fades, and every heartbeat hums with quiet recognition. Everything you've ever longed for has already arrived. Everything you've ever been afraid of has already passed. There is only this, the infinite moment, forever collapsing into itself, forever becoming you.